Hello, and welcome back to Season 2 of Genshin Ranked. I'm your lead developer, Cuddles, and joining me on stage today is my associate dev, Joe Man, and we also have another guest with us tonight, Kurtika Zen.
Hey, I'm back.
Yeah. So go ahead, and for those who weren't here last time, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Kartik Zen. I'm a Genshin Impact streamer with more of a focus on like TC, that like early late game kind of characters, or early late game players, so like C0, C1, C2, and R1, but not whale stuff.
I see. So it's kind of like you've built like a little community of like competitive oriented players, I guess, right?
Yeah, they play Pickban like every day, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. We're very excited to have you on board with us, though, and the audience too, because everybody here is part of a great dream to spark the esports scene in Genshin Impact. So, without further delay, Joe Man, let's get the show on the road.
All right, welcome everybody. I'm Joe Man, and I am delighted to be here and casting. Just finished up my finals this week, and it was quite a bit of work, but I am finally free, and I am so ready to watch this game today.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, like, for most people, I imagine, like, final season is either just about to finish or everybody got out of finals last week, especially for those in college. But I know a lot of people who are still in high school are probably still riding out finals until Christmas week, or if you celebrate that holiday. But
yeah. See, I know quite a bunch of people that are still taking them, so I wish those people the best of luck. But luckily, I think I got out a bit earlier than some people, so I'm done and ready to start this game.
Absolutely. We've got a stellar showdown between two well-trained teams tonight, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at the bracket. All right, so today we happen to have Noblesse Oblige in our top left corner, the Group A 1 versus 9, and this is versus Pixel Dismissal. This is a match between, an experienced team and some promising rookies in a classic David and Goliath matchup, but we'll have to find out for ourselves the ending to this underdog story.
Yeah, at this point in the quarterfinals, they've had to face off against a challenging preliminary set of bosses, as well as an intense round of 16. But here they are tonight, ready to take the stage and advance to the semifinals with the chance to compete for the $1,000 grand prize. Again, teams will draft bosses, pick and ban characters, and speedrun as a team of 3 to work towards winning a best of 7. Each team is comprised of 4 players, but the world only allows 3 players and a ref, so it gives the team some options if they need to strategize their drafts amongst each player.
All right, I'd love to introduce you guys to our two teams. So first, starting off with Noblesse Oblige. Noblesse Oblige is a team made up of ranked and co-op veterans who bring plenty of experience to the table. They've proven their skills through good gameplay and technical proficiency, especially when it comes to drafting strategies. Their builds are strong, but their roster can be a bit inflexible at times, although I will say they have expanded with a lot of the recent Natlin events. But they are also the first seed in the preliminary rounds, showcasing their dominance early on through their beautiful non-draft clear times.
Wow.
And yet, on the other hand, we have Pixel Dismissal, a mix of rookie endgame players and a veteran competitor. This is their debut season, but they've already made an impression with a unique drafting perspective and some pretty solid gameplay. And despite being the 9th team in the prelims, they've managed to defeat a 3-year veteran Asia team to make it to this point, proving that they're more than capable of handling high-pressure matchups.
Yeah, both teams feature players who excel with the characters like C1 Risley, who's proven to be very strong. And both teams, funny enough, are a 3-player team. So a lot of teams are 4 players, so they have more counts and more variability. We've got 2 3-player teams going against each other, so they'll have to really dial in who's playing what character.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be fair, we should definitely take a look at some of the rosters for each team because they do have to play with quite a bit of adaptability. When you're limited to 3 players, your character roster drops quite a bit when you want to play everybody on, the same guys, right? So anyways, Noblesse Oblige, they've got Wafer, who is a co-op veteran with 2 years experience. Last is an Abyss veteran who has 3 years of experience, and we also just brought on Yushan, who has participated quite a bit in ranked, and she excels with a C1 Risley.
Yeah, for Pixel Dismissal, we've got Drago, who's another C1 Risley player. Again, proven to be a strong character, but kind of niche, not a lot of teams have it. So it'll be exciting if one of the teams is able to grab it. He's been making a name for himself, standing out with some solo highlights and lots of practice in casual play. Eliza, their captain, has a strong C to Nahida and is a talented Kaching speedrunner, which is very close to my heart as a Kaching main.
Is it Kaching main?
Of course, yes. And then rounding out the roster, they got Kiki, powerhouse with their C6 Xiao, and just been a real all over the board character.
Yeah, I feel like especially seeing the diversity out of these two rosters, even for 3-player teams, I think we have a lot to look forward to in today's match. I think Pixel will be able to put up quite a fight, even though they might have scored a little lower in the prelims. But they're facing off a pretty big giant here with Noblesse Oblige, because that team has some really experienced co-op players. So we'll just have to see how this turns out, but I think it's going to be an exciting match either way. All right, you ready to head into the coin flip?
Yeah, I think so. So since Noblesse Oblige is the higher seed, they get to pick their side of the coin. And it looks like they've gone with heads. All right, so we'll go ahead and flip that coin.
So they asked for heads, right? Noblesse Oblige. Okay, let's see if we can get that for them.
Ooh. I think I flipped the wrong coin.
You played the wrong card, didn't we?
Possibly.
I gotta flip that again.
That's all right. We'll flip one technical issue. There we go. Sorry about that.
There we go.
Anyways, tails. All right, so it is tails, which means that Pixel Dismissal does get to choose their team. So, and it looks like they've gone with Team 2, actually.
Two?
I think that's the first time we've seen that in League. Like,
Yeah,
even
I mean,
Season 1, I don't think anybody's picked Team 2.
To be fair, I think picking Team 2 does give them the option to select 2 characters instead of 1 off that first pick. But remember, they're going to be down 5 characters after a ban phase. So, I don't know. It could work out for them. It might not. Again, we'll just have to see how it goes.
What are the big differences between being pick 1 and pick 2?
Well, pick 1 gives you access to the very first pick in the draft because we follow a snake draft format where the first team picks 1 and then the next team picks 2. And we kind of like follow that format, so it's a little staggered. But in my experience, Team 1 is always really good for anybody that has like an anchor to their team or an anchor to their roster, right? Like if your team can't survive without Bennett and you really want that Bennett pick, or you can't survive without Nahida, you want that Nahida pick, then sometimes Team 1 can be a better option. But other times, you know, if you're thinking like, oh, I have characters that work really well as a duo that can't be separated, think like a vape comp, even a melt comp, or even in this case, you could also argue that Dendro is a better Team 2 selection too, because that way you can pick Nahida and a second Dendro DPS, and then you can't worry about getting counterpicked for the rest of the draft.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of different reasons people would want to pick Team 1 versus Team 2.
Yeah,
do you think that the fact that we have two, like both of them are fighting for a C1 Risley, do you think that's a reason to pick Team 2?
That could be an interesting thing, yeah. I would imagine like Arlecchino Risley, if that comes up for either team, and you know, that's a melt core right there, right? You just need a Shredder in the middle, get Loading, get Cosmo in there.
I feel like that's definitely a good point, because if you want to get a strong DPS like Risley, usually the first pick you want to get is one of those strong supports like Bennett or Farina. So if there's multiple strong supports open, Team 1's only going to get that first pick, and then Team 2 can get the support and the Risley. So that might be what they're going for here. But yeah, I think it's going to be time to head over to the draft and start up that draft.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at that drafting board right now, and let's see what these guys are up to. So, just to recap, everybody does have the opportunity to draft 3 of their own bosses, as well as draft the characters in the following order. You have 2 bans starting off the draft, and then there's also an extra single ban phase in the middle. Afterwards, the draft turns around, so it's like Team 2 that gets to go first. But either way, the draft should be starting, and looks like Team 1, which is Noblesse Oblige, they decide to lock in PMA. So that's going to be a little bit of a fizz, big heavy hitter check. And then Team 2, Pixel has decided to lock in Gold Flame. So immediately off the bat, what I'm seeing is there's a Hydro preference coming from Team 2, right? I'm probably thinking you're not going to play Arlecchino, you're not going to play Linny into Gold Flame if you can avoid it. Maybe you want Pyro as a little bit of a driver, but from what I can tell, that's going to be a little bit of Hydro preference. And Team 1 fires back, throwing Swanee into the mix, trying to make sure that nobody is going to dominate with just Hydra alone. And then there's a Ruined Serpent, very comfortable DPS check pick.
Yeah, a Ruined Serpent's unique because it can shut down Arlay. Since it's going into a different area, it removes her bond. So that's usually an Arlay check there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised either. I think like for the most part, PMA, Ruined Serpent, these are like very DPS check intensive bosses versus Swanee and Goldflame. These are more elemental check related. So I'm pretty sure you can kind of see how their teams are building their rosters around them. I think with Swanee pick, especially from Team 1, I think that's indicating that you need Cryo. So probably Team 1's looking for a belt.
I'm definitely thinking that that Noblesse Oblige is going for that Ganyu here. That's proven to be pretty strong for them. And then Asimon and Animo Cube. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Animo Cube is definitely one of those bosses that kind of just nukes characters and nukes teammates. So I think if Noblesse Oblige doesn't play super carefully into that opening phase, it could set them back quite a bit because that could be an instant loss. But I mean, it could also backfire on Pixel Dismissal if they're not prepared for it themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as we go into the ban phase, let's see what character gets knocked out here first. Noblesse Oblige hovering, but ultimately going for a Nikita ban. So solid choice, especially considering that they want to avoid getting drafted out by a Dendro Core. So they're not gonna open that Nikita for Pixel Dismissal.
Yeah, it could be interesting. But yeah, that gold flame is definitely gonna need some kind of strong Hydra or Cryo Core.
I have not seen a Wanderer ban in ranked tournaments at all. This is the very first time I've seen a Wanderer ban come off the bat.
Do they have a con on Wanderer?
It has to be, right, Kurt? I mean, like...
Yeah, it looks like Eliza has C0 and Kiki has C1. C2 is the most powerful Wanderer that's allowed, I believe.
I wonder if Noblesse Oblige has a C2. Oh, Wafer has a C2 Wanderer, so that's probably what they were trying to avoid.
Yeah, interesting.
But it's interesting now because this is a point where they have to decide, do they want Bennett, do they want Shalonen in the match at all? And let's see what happens. Arlecchino banned right away, so I'm not even sure if Team 1 is going to play around a Pyrocore or play around Vape. I'm reading that's going to be a Bennett Ryo melt. And Pixel Dismissal says they don't want Ryo in the picture at all.
Yeah, I mean, Ganyu's still open, and again, like I said, Noblesse Oblige also has a very strong Ganyu. So I think whichever team can get the Ganyu is going to be probably going to take home the victory on the Swanee.
Yeah, but I remember, you definitely need Bennett plus Ganyu. I feel like, okay, there you go. So there's a Bennett pick coming from Noblesse. But then I wonder how Pixel's going to follow up with that. I'm not sure if they're exactly ready. But keep in mind, Mono Hydro's still on the table. Melania's still on the table. These have a lot of powerful options right here that I wonder if they're glossing over. Just, okay, there you go. There's a Novelette coming out. And I wonder if they're going to pull a Yolana or a Farina as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking Farina. It looks like Draga has a C1 Farina, which can be pretty good. So,
there it is. There's a Farina. So it's going to be Mono Hydro versus what appears to be a... I'm reading this Ganyu melt. It's going to be a what I call Pride team because it's LGBT, the Linny Ganyu Bennett team of melts. Honestly, it's really strong. We've seen it cook before. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull it out now. But it's going to be LGBT versus... some sort of mono hydro comp. So there's the Ganyu right there, and I wonder if they're gonna go for the Linny, or it could be a steel pick. Depends on how Noblesse Oblige really wants to draft this. Yeah,
it looks like Pixel does not have a Chaska available to them though, so that's proven to be really strong. That Novelette Chaska synergy has been really strong here in League because Chaska gives Novelette that last draconic stack. And so Novelette Farina Chaska has been probably one of the strongest teams that we've seen.
Oh, and there they go. They're gonna play Pride team. They locked it in. They somehow managed to get it, and it honestly works for 6 out of these 7 bosses. So good luck to them. Let's see what Pixel Dismissal is gonna lock in for their last. I wonder if they have a Yelan, like a usable Yelan, maybe would be really good as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking probably a Kaza here or Shilinen.
Yeah,
could
honestly,
be pretty strong.
They have the whole world open to them at this point. I think the ban phase went a little interesting, and I think Pixel Dismissal keeping those bans open was actually a very tactical move for them. So
yeah, just trying to ban the DPSs, leaving lots of support options open. That's pretty smart. But yeah, from what it looks like, it seems like Team 1 with that Linny Ganyu Bennett team is going to be a very much more difficult team versus a mono hydro comp, but I believe it should be clearing faster on those DPS checks like PMA and Drake.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can execute that well, if they can place their Bennett bursts well, if they can charge attack cancel, which I know that they can, they've proven that they can do it before, they might be able to pull away with this victory.
Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and, oh, it's gonna be, so from what I'm hearing, they want, they're gonna pick Navia for this one. It's pretty interesting though, because like, yeah, there you go. I think Navia is actually a very solid choice for this as well, because you're going to be running the mono hydro. You have a lot of application, right? But at the same time, you also have that buffer coming from the Farina. So this is not a weak team by any means. I think these two could definitely go head to head with each other, especially if you have a good Navia, because you're loading that shotgun so fast. I mean, you have Noblesse, you have Farina, both applying so much hydro. That's pretty much free. And here we go, as Pixel Dismissal going on to ban out the Shalonen.
Interesting.
That's gonna be interesting decision. Yeah, I'm not
Wait, why
sure.
would?
Maybe it could be like an attempt to try and set up like a second team or something that they're trying to shut down. But either way, I'm pretty sure Shalonen's definitely an interesting pick. But it's not a terrible pick either, because you know you want to deny your team options, right? Or deny the enemy team options. So I think banning out the Shalonen might be the move.
Yeah. I think for Team 1 here, your best ban is probably Kazuha. Yeah, there we go.
They catch it, yeah.
Yeah,
There it
I
is.
mean, Kazuha is just really strong with that mono hydro core. But I think another strong option could be trying to take out. Oh, there we go. Yelan
Oh,
is what I
instant
Yelan
lock.
is what I assumed that Team 1 was going to ban, because it seems like, or that Team 2 is going to ban. It seems like Team 1 doesn't really have an answer for Gold Flame or for Animo Cube right now. Gold Flame has so much Pyro Res, and Animo Cube can't be melted, so that team is just not going to be performing that well. But they might just be throwing the team and going for something else, throwing the boss and going for something else.
Maybe-
Yeah, that's true. They could be setting up their team right here. Go ahead, Kurt.
Maybe they ban Shalonen in hopes like to give the opponent the opportunity to misplay and miss the Yelan. Or
Oh my
boy.
goodness. Yeah, Mualani's still available. I
Mualani.
didn't even remember that.
Yeah.
four
They
big
have
Mualani.
Lenny Milani. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe the Shiloden ban was the correct one there, actually. That was pretty smart, because Mualani and Shiloden are another strong combo. Mualani really needs that healing, and the res shred is just huge. So if they could have gotten Lenny, Mualani, Shiloden, that
But
could have been
I will
really
say
strong.
though, Pixel definitely shut this Milani team down a little, because you might have Lenny Bennett as your driver, but you really want Milani to be doing the damage. Oh, okay, and
Yeah,
they default to
and there's the
C6
next strongest option behind
yeah,
Shilonen.
behind
'Cause-
Kazuha, behind Shilonen, behind Wanderer, and Sucro's the last one on
No,
the
no.
list.
Honestly, I think Sucrose is stronger than Wanderer or Kazuha for Mualani team specifically, because you can actually run Prototype Amber on her just for that healing, which is really
Yeah.
important for Mualani.
But anyways, it's also really cool too, because Pixel Dismissal has pulled out a Hu Tao, and they could run a Hu Tao Yelan Farina Vape, which is also a very powerful setup themselves.
Feels like Pixel has been planning this draft phase for months.
Yep,
Yeah,
and I
both
think
teams drafting extremely well.
That Ayaka might just be a steal, honestly. It's a Swanee shutdown right there. They can't, and keep this in mind, unless Team 1 drafts, oh no, I guess they have Ganyu, right? But I think that was a targeted attempt to snipe Glass C2 Ayaka.
Yeah, could be. But yeah, that Hu Tao Yelan Farina team, it's really up and down whether it actually clears fast. If you're able to get to those breakpoints, if you're able to clear with just one Hu Tao E, you can clear Drake in less than 25 seconds. But
Oh,
Emily,
that,
wow, that might
that
be the
is
first
going to be
Emily.
interesting.
Lots of
I know,
firsts
but,
here.
But here's what I'm thinking too. Is like ideally, for whatever reason, if they don't want Sucrose, you might as well try throwing Emily into the winning team as well. See if you can get some burn melt.
Could be good, yeah.
I mean, like, I think for the most part, both sides drafted super flexible rosters. Like, all
Mhm.
of these teammates can really work together with themselves, and it's just a matter of finding out, you know, which one works the best.
Yeah, they both have multiple different options for what team they're going to want to run, so we'll see what they end up going with here.
Absolutely. But yeah, let's see. They're gonna go ahead and start setting up into the prep phase now.
Yeah, while teams are joining, we'll just yap a bit. But I think this could be interesting. Like I said, I think the fastest clearing team here is probably that Hu Tao Yalan Farina. But it really depends if they've got the high enough cons and investment in those characters to be actually be able to clear it in the one rotation.
Also a really scary team to run.
Wait, the Hu Tao Yalan one?
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit risky,
in
yeah.
terms of dying.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the Farina heals, but you're running Hu Tao usually at very low HP, yeah.
I will say that whenever people do pick that Hu Tao Yalan Farina team, they are banking on the Hu Tao player being proficient. It's a lot less safe than the Arlecchino, because Arlecchino has a full HP heal on Q, basically, right?
Yeah.
But Hu Tao has only like a partial heal.
Yeah.
And it's really not the same quality of safety. You have to just trust that either your Hu Tao player is the GOAT, or your Farina player is actively paying attention to the game and not scrolling reels.
Yeah, it looks like players have joined Worlds and they're gonna go ahead and start practicing.
Yeah, let's see what they are up to.
Team 1 immediately starting with Gold Flame, interesting enough.
Yeah, this is just a little bit of a 10-minute prep. This is just for all the people to kind of get together.
What times are we expecting on these bosses?
Ooh, let's see. Remember,
Well,
so for
some
Drake,
spicy bosses.
Drake, I'd definitely say a 30-second clear time is pretty good.
I mean, yeah, 30 seconds is good, but with how strong these teams, both teams have, I'm guessing the winning team is gonna have around 25 seconds. If neither team can go below 25, then I would be surprised.
Well, I mean, here's what I'm thinking, right? So if neither team is clearing 25, we're having a very interesting match. I think if both teams get stuck with like 30, 32-second clear times on Drake, given their draft, then I think we're going to be set up for something very strange.
Yeah, it'll be a really toss-up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, Team 2 definitely has some more safe options because they can just run Nouvellette, Farina, Navia, which is a pretty safe team. If they feel like, oh, it's Gold Flame where you might die. Gold Flame has some of the strongest hits in the game at World Level 9, just completely decimating anyone's health. So with a little bit of Crystal Shy's shield from Navia and the healing from Farina, you can't really die with that team.
Yeah, I would say, like some of the newer bosses, Swanee, Gold Flame, these guys hit you for your full HP bar if you're a small character, or like a new generation non-HP, or old generation like non-HP scaler. Like you're definitely seeing, your Hu Tao get one shot by that. You're seeing like your Ganyu absolutely disappear. Like these bosses are very unforgiving, especially at the high world level which we're playing at right now.
Yeah, it looks like Noblesse Oblige is practicing on that Gold Flame, and I feel like if you're gonna run Mualani against Gold Flame, you have to have her at full HP. So personally, I'm guessing they're gonna run Pride Team on Drake and PMA. That way they have the full HP Mualani for Gold Flame.
Yeah, that's probably like the safest option too. I mean, you want to have Mualani for this. They kind of don't have any other option. But it's really funny because whenever you like watch teams do their prep, they're really like kind of struggling. I mean, they had a DNF already at 35. I don't know. Yeah. Sometimes you mess up in prep, and then when you do your actual run, like everything just goes perfectly. So
they just walk in.
Yeah, you know, like you just need to.
They just need a little bit more stress, you know.
Yeah. And meanwhile, look at the comfort of a Nouvellette Farina. But then you know, look at this. I think that's Eliza right there on the Hu Tao. I wonder if we can see the scoreboard a little, or the HP bar a little better, but yeah, for the most part, I mean, they have a pretty solid clear. I'm seeing some really nice damage. 74k charges. I mean, that's a nice Hu Tao right there. Definitely clearing it in about 30 something. Yeah, and I mean, if you want, we can also like take a look at some of the characters right here. Eliza gonna. No, I don't think Eliza has any character on Showcase. Let's see if Drager or Kiki do.
Yeah.
I will admit I'm a little upset that we don't get to see a C1 Risley today.
Yeah. I mean, it was probably a smart decision, immediately banning it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Drago was very confident in the C1 Risley last game, so I think it's just very interesting. I think they're playing a very very not off meta, but like they're breaking your expectations a little bit because I think
Yeah.
everybody wanted to see the C1 Ryo come out after their performance during round of 16. But hey, I'm gonna say maybe they know how to play a diverse set. So
Who is that Drago playing the Farina? Can the ref check the
Yes.
Farina constellations again? It looked like a C2 Farina.
ooh, interesting. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a
No,
it's
just
a
C1. Okay,
but
yeah.
it's
C1
he's
Festering
he's
Desire,
an old
unfortunately.
gen player right there. It's a 1.2 weapon.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, because C1's allowed any weapon. So unfortunately, only having Festering Desire, usually you'd want some kind of DPS weapon since you don't need the ER as much in
Well, hey, I mean
3v3.
Festering Desire. That's what,
It's pretty good.
32?
It's better than most
Yeah.
other 4-star options, certainly.
I will
It's the
point out
DPS
also.
weapon if you don't have a 5-star.
Yeah, I'm also watching this right now. I will notice. I think that was a lot. Was that Kiki on the Novelette right there? Because I did see they got the lineup correct. I think Pixel is actually quite advanced in terms of their game mechanics. So I think as long as you give them a good team, which they have possession of a good team, I think they actually can punch well above their weight.
I really wonder how much time they put into drafting because I feel like it feels so calculated. Pixel's draft.
That's what I think. Like, it's so interesting seeing them. Like, they actually just opened their whole support roster, saying like, hey,
Yeah.
we need our supports, right? You can only pick Bennett, you know, but we're gonna have our whole team ahead of us. And picking that Hydro Core with the Novelette Farina, that gave them so many options to play with. So I
Especially
wonder if-
because they went second. Like they chose to go second.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
It feels like they've labbed this out because most
Definitely.
people will go first when they win. So if they lose the coin flip, then they assume they go second, and then if they win the coin flip, they just go, oh, we're going second.
ooh,
Yeah.
that could be some time-saving tech right there. But I do know that Pixel they do practice quite a bit within themselves, so I'm not entirely surprised.
yeah. I mean, this was one of the strongest drafts I've seen. I don't think either team really made any mistakes here. There were some
I
things
mean,
that I
like-
was wary. I think the Shillinen ban I was a little bit confused by, but I completely forgot that they had Mualani. So the Shillinen ban was incredibly smart, actually.
Yeah, I guess they had to assess their risk, you know. Was it better to ban Shalonen or is it better to ban Milani? I guess they rather would leave Milani with less options open. Although I will say, Sucrose is still strong and still a powerhouse when it comes to a vape team like that. So you can't really mess with that.
Yeah, the amount of EM she provides is just ridiculous. So for Mualani, it's super valuable. But, yeah.
We're gonna watch some last second practice over here coming from Pixel on Swanee. Their cryo option was, I think it was like Ayaka, right? It was gonna be like Ayaka Farina Tau. That's what I'm reading. Yeah, so I'm not sure how well Swanee's gonna go. I think for the most part, Noblesse Oblige kind of have that one in the bag. But
Interesting.
Speaking of Noblesse Oblige, I've also opted to play Burn Melt onto Animo Cube right there with Family, so...
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing you could do. Apparently, that actually works. You can burn
I
it.
don't know, applied a lot more pyro than I thought it would.
Yeah, usually with that boss, you can't keep any element on it, besides like Dendra or something. But apparently, it works just fine if you have burning aura. I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
this could be the move.
Learning new mechanics.
Both teams showing that they know what they're doing.
Is that the first Emily draft? Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, it actually might be the first Emily draft. You're right, Kurt. I don't think I've seen one in tournaments. I have seen a few casual matches where people randomly throw Emily in for that burning melt, but I think this is the first time that I've genuinely seen it for this purpose.
Yeah, I'm also surprised no Kanichi. I thought that usually I would think you'd take Kanichi over Emily, but maybe there's something I don't know.
Does Emily apply more Dendro than Kanichi?
I
Is that a
doubt
specific?
it. Maybe, I don't know.
Is that a specific tech for Animo Cube exactly? There's no way, right?
Surely it, right? I don't know. I've never tested, man. I don't know. I don't have Dendro on my roster. Everybody who's played with me knows that my roster is very sparse, but
I need to ask Lynn that afterwards.
No.
But yeah, both teams getting energy here, so they're allowed to get full energy and full health before starting the fight, but then no healing from then on.
Yep, here we go. This is gonna be a match. What can I say?
Yeah, I think this will be pretty close. I think both teams really do have some strong options. So
Absolutely. I wonder which team will get skill checked is the better question, actually. No, I mean, like, honestly, though, that's what it comes down to, right? At this point, I mean, once you both lock in these teams with both very good clear times, then it's just a matter of who's going to clear faster.
Be a really entertaining match, I'm sure.
So Noblesse Oblige is going to go ahead and lock into the finish, and then, what was it? And then Pixel Dismissal here is just going to go ahead and get themselves set up one last time.
Only C3.
Oh, that could be interesting.
That's
I only have
tough.
C3, and I've been playing for 4 years.
I mean, I don't think C6 matters much here, right? I believe it's just a damage bonus on the burst infusion, which won't really benefit Mualani here. It really only benefits Linny. So maybe it's not that big of a deal.
Is Linny always sitting on the burst infusion?
Oh yeah, usually you want the pyro burst infusion because you want Mualani to vape. So
yeah, so it's going to be interesting because you do have to like weave in a little bit of a hydro tap auto, basically, trying to make sure that you are getting a little bit of swirl for Mualani, because you do want to maximize everything you have, right? So you're getting a little bit of EM, you're getting a little bit of hydro VB. It's kind of their only option. Yeah.
And in practice, did you guys notice, was it glassed on the Mualani?
Yeah, I think Blast is the Mualani player.
Yeah, because Glass does have C1 Mualani, which does benefit a lot from that VV. Because that first hit is a large proportion of Mualani's damage at C1. So with C1, it actually works a lot better with a VV than a lot of other than C0.
I wonder what's going on the other side for Pixel Dismissal. I wonder if they're ready to start.
Yeah, looks like they're almost ready, just checking character constellations and everything.
Any thoughts for predictions, by the way? Because I know this is to everybody in here too. Like,
I have no clue, dude.
Yeah, I mean, going into this, I was pretty sure that it would be Noblesse Oblige, but after this draft, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, it could be a 4-3. I'm down to say it's definitely gonna be a 4-3.
But it looks like they do start out with the Hu Tao team. Like I said, this is potentially the fastest team if they can one cycle it.
I mean, yeah, look at how far they are halfway through.
Yeah,
They're
it looks
not
like
going to
they didn't
perfectly one cycle it though. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of what is it? I think that's just the nature of Hu Tao uptime. So they're not gonna clear 30, but they are actually no, they clear.
No, they're gonna clear 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 30 seconds. That's still pretty fast. So Team 1 has to play well here to beat that.
Yeah, absolutely. Then meanwhile, on the other side, we take a look at take a look at how Noblesse Oblige is doing on this.
Yeah, so they are starting with a Pride team. Like I said, I think it's smart to maintain Mualani's HP as much as you can.
Yeah, here we go. And Ganyu. Oh, okay, so the Bennett ult is a little close to the boss. Glass is going to have to play really risky right there, because even though these guys are going to have a really nice clear time, it's consistent, right? But keep in mind, Glass is not in a very comfortable position to be in right now. Linny and Bennett both getting a little staggered, and the ult is going to go a little sideways, but they should be able to still find some damage right here. Again, or was it again? Like
29.
There we go. Just barely winning.
1 second early.
Just about 1 second. And perfect timing. It looks like Team 2 starting PMA.
Well, this is great timing.
Again with the Hu Tao. They're really trying to get this cycle down.
I will say, I think if Eliza managed to not get staggered off that first hit, I think they could have actually at least tied in terms of their times. But that 1 second off is going to be... That 1 second is going to be a little interesting to look at.
Yeah, jellyfish.
Yeah, I believe it's only a C0 Hu Tao, so you're not getting infinite charge attacks. but it still should be enough if you've got good investment.
Absolutely.
39 seconds. That is pretty fast for a PM8 clear. 45 is roughly the average for a good team, so 39 is pretty impressive.
Absolutely.
That'll be definitely hard to beat, but Lenny Gagne Bennett, I think, is one of the best teams for this boss with how the DPS windows line up, I think.
What do you think they're doing on that side?
I don't know. But yeah, it looks like...
Oh, they're going ready?
Oh,
yeah, it looks like they're getting ready. All right. And they're starting, yeah. Again with the Lenny Gagne Bennett.
Are we expecting 45 with this team?
I sub 45 for sure. I think this should definitely... Oh, wow. Somebody took a massive hit right there. They still managed to recover from it. Yeah, I'm expecting like 30, also a 35 second, maybe a 40 if they miss shots, but I don't think they're missing shots right now. I think for most part, Wafer's kind of locked in with that.
Oh, they were barely not able to cycle it. So it looks like it has to go into animation while it's vulnerable.
Oh,
looks
so
like this is, yeah, that's kind of the deal breaker.
Right there for Pixel.
They just weren't able to cycle it fast enough, yeah. Yeah, the animations are a big part of this, so you really have to be able to cycle it at the beginning. So having bursts up for it is very important.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, I think Noblesse Oblige might play for energy, but they're also going for a speedrunner approach. I'm pretty sure. Dang, okay, I guess they didn't expect Pixel to clear in time, but keep in mind, Bennett barely has ult. I don't know if Lenny has ult from this, but PMA just drop a lot of energy, so maybe that's why they dumped all their stuff, but...
And there we go. Like I said, they're going in with the safe team on Gold Flame. So the Navia... But actually, no Farina. Wait, they're going double DPS with Navia. Interesting.
Or triple DPS, rather. I think.
Triple DPS,
yeah, double DPS with Navia, triple DPS, of course. Yeah. Oh, and again, Navia takes a big hit.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Crystallized
Drago
Shield.
stays in the fight.
Oh, man.
Crystallized Shield's not as strong as you may think, but,
But
strong enough. Strong
29-6.
enough. 29-6. Not bad, not bad.
Not bad at all. Let's go ahead and look at Noblesse Oblige here. How are they going to have to counterplay against Pixel?
Yeah, I think Mualani is one of the fastest teams for this boss, just because it's not the tankiest boss. So if you're able to kill it with Mualani pretty quickly, then in just one cycle, then you're usually pretty safe. Plus, it gives Mualani that Phlogiston, so she gets like a couple more E's, or a couple more hits with her E. So if they play it properly, I think they win this one.
Yeah, but I don't think they played it properly during their prep, so I'm not sure if they're experienced enough even running the Lenny and the Sucrose together for this. I mean, Glass is known for his Mualani gameplay, I think, out of most of his characters. I definitely say he's got a good Ayaka, a good Novelette, good Mualani. But I don't know if he's going to be able to execute, because I don't know if they'll practice with the VV team before. So that's what we're going to have to find out. I mean, the time to beat is like, what, 29? So
29.67.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's going to be a little intense. I don't know.
Yeah, and C1 should be not as strong here as C0. Because of that Phlogiston, you're going to get a lot more ease. Which means for a C1 player who's restricted to lower weapons, only that first hit is going to be that much damage. So I'm not sure if they're able to cycle it. I haven't seen much C1 Mualani, but we'll have to see.
There's the Hydro.
They get the swirl, they get the pyro.
Oh,
460k.
459. Okay, maybe that C3 Sucrose is actually cooking quite hard.
And they're able to burst to dodge it. And oh my goodness, look at these E's.
Ult doesn't vape, but actually they pretty much get
I think
this.
they got it.
Yeah, they just need one more Milani E. Glass doesn't crits, and that's gonna be a miss, unfortunately. Because now
they still won by like 0.2 seconds.
Wait, that's gonna be a VAR.
Right there.
Yeah, that's VAR then.
Frame count that time as well.
Oh man.
That's our first VAR of actually both season 1 and season 2.
Yeah, so if it's within half a second, then we actually take it and we review it and frame count it.
Well, I mean, it's really interesting to me though, because this match is really coming down to frame counts here. I will say this Swanee time, the Swanee clear is not exactly optimal for Tao. I think you're losing a little bit of that melt, unfortunately, even though you are staggering this thing quite a bit. I will say that much. But I mean, yeah, there you go. You're just going for multiple shatters, multiple daggers over and over again.
What's the standard time for Swanee here?
I mean, a good 30-second time on a melt team is nice, but I think
Yeah.
when you're running Farina, you kind of lose out on a second DPS. So
Exactly, and Farina is not going to be dealing much damage, especially because it's only C1, so you're getting less buff, and usually the C1 damage is able to make up for it, but here it's just not able to because it's Hydra resistant.
yeah.
So I think Pride Team is one of the fastest teams for Swanee, so I think Team 1 should be able to win this if they don't miss crits like they did last boss.
That's actually crazy, yeah. I mean, like, they had it in the bag, and then that one stroke of luck, right?
Yeah,
All
just
comes
edging the
around so
boss right at
easy.
the end. Unfortunate.
Absolutely.
One
Well,
more
here
crit
we
damage
are.
roll would have won them. Well, or crit rate, honestly.
Honestly, I think we're also because of Drake too. I think we're sitting on like 2 video review times, which is gonna make this a very interesting match.
You wanted a close game. We're getting a close game.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
getting
yeah.
such a close game.
I wish I could vote with points.
Yeah, but then that means we have to run ads. We gotta do
Ew,
this
ads.
earlier. I don't.
Alright,
don't have
yeah,
fire
but
guys
Team
like
1
that.
starting Sewanee here. Again, Pride Team is one of the fastest teams for Sewanee typically, so.
Oh,
As long as you
and
don't get one
almost
shot in
missing
Bennett
those-
burst.
Yeah, almost
But
missed those
yeah,
2 dodges.
yeah.
Like, yeah, there you go. Pride Team just absolutely hammering away at that. I think this is going to be a pretty easy win for Noblesse Oblige. And given the fact that there's 2 VARs and 1 loss, 1 win for each team, this is going to make it probably one of the closest matches we've had. So there you go. Anyways, Pixel Dismissal is going to be going ahead over onto Ruin Serpent now. And we gotta see what they're cooking. Oh, and now they decided to run classic Hutao Vape.
Yeah, back
is
with
pretty much
the
just-
Noblesse
it's
Farina
simple.
Hitao.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? You're throwing Eliza onto the DPS role, you know? Banking on the fact she'll carry.
Yeah. We'll see if it pays off. Yeah, it looks like they are healing a little bit above. Oh, it looks like Hutao might be below 50% HP. I think they
Or
know what
just,
they're
like, barely
doing.
on
It's
it.
pretty good, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think Eliza's definitely the right spot. That's a lot of good damage to be taking out of Ruin Serpent this early as well. So I think props to them. They're ready. Here's the cycle phase. Farina E goes up, so does Noblesse E, and there's a Hutao infusion, but not landing the crits that she wants, unfortunately. Eliza a little struggling over here, but it's the right phase of Ruin Serpent that they could be asking for, because that's going to be a kill right there.
Wow, they cycled
35
it.
seven.
Impressive.
Yeah, and now that's something for the Pride team to beat. Noblesse Oblige, they have to find their crosshairs if they want to get this win. And here we
I
go.
love
There's a
watching
They
pyro
do have
setup.
full bursts, so it should be good.
Yeah, and
They're
you can see
n-
Glass playing conservatively. They know how much of their burst to keep. I think Glass gets 1 more bloom off of that and then cycles it into an ult. And I think
Yeah,
they're about at the same points of damage.
looks pretty
So,
close.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. You have Bennett ult on field. You have Linny ult on field. And you have Ganyu landing those melts. And I think at 35
Remember, they have to beat a
time is-
35.
it
And
might
it's
be attainable,
close,
and they don't
but it
have
looks
the
like they
RNG
don't.
for it.
They
They
don't
try
get the
to land
proper
their shots, they
cycle.
try to land their melts, and they can't get it through. So unfortunately, that's going to be another red flag over there. And now, Noblesse Oblige are for sure behind.
Some pick
So-
banners have told me that Rune Serpent RNG is not RNG. You can actually manip the Rune Serpent. I have no
Really?
idea if that works at all in co-op.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty similar. I feel like a lot of bosses have similar things like that. I know Kenki, if you don't want him to dash, you just stay far enough away, and he should be
That's correct.
fine. So I haven't looked much into Ruin Serpent RNG manipulation though. Interesting.
Rumor, the Brazilians tell me that if you are in a specific spot, he always does the long
The little,
long
yeah,
up
the
and- yeah.
sweep.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, could be something to look into though for Noblesse Oblige then, huh? They're pulling up the Brazilian
For
videos
future
as we speak for the
games,
retry.
yes. Maybe they're pulling up Leroy's YouTube videos right now.
We'll see. We'll see.
I really wish we got more of the Brazilians involved in this, but I mean, we did get a bit of the Russian Abyss players. Oh, what is that? Kiki not exactly staying in the right position, so I don't know if that's going to be the damage that they're looking for right now, because they have a lot to make up. Hutao's down, unfortunately, is going to have to find that infusion now or later. I don't know if she's going to get it in time because it's going right into its cycle, but they just barely get out.
Barely before it goes invisible. Nice.
Yeah, and then on the other side.
Yeah, so it looks like Noblesse Oblige is going into this with no Bennett burst, unfortunately. I used it at the end. They should have some energy at least on Bennett, but having no Bennett burst means this is going to be a lot harder to cycle. And there we go. They did get it. Alpha 1 Linny and Bennett E. So they should be fine.
And there's a DPS phase right now. Everybody's got their ults down and everyone's in the perfect position for this. So I think Noblesse Oblige here stands a really good shot. They have that Bennett ult perfectly cycling too. So again, that clear time, it's not going to be a 28. It's going to be sub 28 because I think Noblesse Oblige takes that home 26.
4.
Yeah, there you go.
What's our score now?
It is sitting on the edge of a 2-2 or a 3-3.
It's 2-2 with 2 VARs right now. So
yeah, we're gonna have to hopefully go back and take a look, see what's going on with the times, both for Drake and for Gold Flame, because those were just so close. Yeah, I will say Pixel's timer did stop a little late too. So
yeah, so it looks like they're gonna VAR both of those and see. But we're going into
and here we go.
So this one, I don't think that Hu Tao can vape this one. So I'll be interested to see if they can cycle it.
Are they committing? Oh, they're not committing. Noblette, what are you doing, my man? Oh man.
They survived the initial hit.
A little stressful for no reason.
But Nivelet did not burst in time. But they still cycle it. There we go. They still cycled it. This part is timer based, so no rush here. As long as you get all the things, it should be fine. But this one might also be a VAR. I'm guessing that Team 1's going to be able to cycle it as well. So this might be a triple VAR game. That would be very interesting.
Yeah, if it's triple VAR, we're going to have to spend a lot. Oh, okay, 45. That's VARable
45,
for sure.
Yeah, certainly.
This is a really, really tight match between our number 1 and our number 9 seed, which is, I think, the funniest part about this. It's like, man, Pixel's a brand new team to the game, but they certainly brought their A game when it came to this match. Oh, and it looks like they went for Ganyu RNG, but this is interesting. This cycle, unfortunately, does have a lot of missed timings.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think Noblesse Oblige
They did not get their bursts up quickly enough. I don't think they can win this.
Well, you can apply Dendro onto this. I'm learning right now that you can apply Dendro onto
I knew you could apply Dendro, but I did not know you could apply Burning, yeah. Because I knew you could quicken and spread on this boss, but
yeah, I mean, I think all things considered, even if they have their barrels pointed at this thing, I don't think it's going to be that's not going to be a take-home time for them. So we're going to be stuck in an interesting situation here. I think we're going to have everyone kind of sit back and we're kind of sit in the lounge a little bit and just chill while we see what's going on. 5686 for Animo Cube. So that's 3 red flags confirmed for confirmed for Noblesse Oblige. I mean, that's enough evidence, honestly, with the 3 losses. I think that's, well, yeah, I mean, if you have 3 confirmed losses, but what if the other 2 VARs were actually losses for Pixel? Yeah,
it's 3-2 in favor of Pixel, but if those VARs come up in favor of Noblesse Oblige, then they're going to have the advantage going into overtime.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, at the same time, if they come up in favor of Pixel, then Pixel wins, and that's it.
Yeah,
so,
if any, yeah.
It's going to come down to the milliseconds here.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the reason why it's worth building your characters out so intensely.
You think someone forgot one artifact and that's why we're in the VAR right now?
Yeah, missed 1 roll of crit.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, guys, did you check your builds before you start the match?
Yeah, I played a game just the other day where I may have used my Kaching with the Sword of or whatever it is, the light and dark one, instead of my actual leveled 5-star weapon. Unfortunately,
Sinkers comes up sometimes in Pickban. Does that come up ever here? I assume no.
Not really, no. The only bosses that have those Luisa, Numa. Mechanics are Capellius, Capellia, EFG, and I don't think there's any more, so it's very infrequent that it actually matters. Like Linny's stunning. Yeah, I've seen Linny stun EFG occasionally, but it just doesn't matter. I guess maybe if Capellius was drafted more, because Capellius, you can, instead of bringing a Pyro, you can bring someone with a mechanic to stop the shield, but I don't see Capellius drafted very often.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be fair, Capellius and Capellia are just super aggressive off opener, and a lot of people don't enjoy playing them because the DPS window that you have to match is like really suboptimal, because when you practice in single player, you don't have hit lag as bad as you do in multiplayer, right?
Oh yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Here's what actually happens is that the timings that you end up practicing in single player when you want to play full gas pedal, full aggro, they're actually messed up quite a bit. And because Capellius attacks with stagger so frequently, you end up just missing a lot of your timings. So it's one of those things where, like, if you're not playing it often, then you probably shouldn't be pulling it out.
Yeah, very dangerous boss. But those few players who have enough practice in ranked to draft those bosses get a huge advantage when they're picking those.
Absolutely. And I think one thing that's like really fun about ranked too is that, like, at its core, it's really just running bosses and multiplayer. And that's kind of like what people end up doing, you know, when you start playing Genshin. You know, you're artifact farming with your friends, or maybe you're just like open world farming, for example, you know? So
I want to believe that someone in ranked has gotten the achievement for killing a boss in co-op for the first time during a game.
Oh, we had it so often. It
plenty.
It is the signature new to the server classic. I've seen it so many times. Oh, I just got an achievement for fighting this boss.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, man, you know, I didn't even realize that boss was I didn't realize that boss was something I hadn't fought before in co-op.
Yeah,
like,
I
didn't farm it.
Yeah, I think the funniest thing that happens is when it's someone who is experienced to the server, who has played a lot, and just has somehow never gone up against some niche boss that they just haven't played against. Yeah, I've definitely seen it before. Oh, we've never fought this boss in ranked before, and I just got an achievement. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, especially like, what are some like other really annoying bosses that you just never have to play in? Like Ruined Serpent, right? Like nobody actively goes to Chasm to fight Ruined Serpent.
Yeah.
Oh, surely not.
Yeah.
No one ever has fun with
Like,
that boss.
what characters use Ruined Serpent as level up material? So like Yelan, and is that it? Like, I don't even know who else does it.
Might be the only relevant character.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Ruined Serpent's super common here in ranked just because it shuts down Arlay pretty well, and it's just generally a pretty good DPS check that doesn't have, you know, specific mechanics that can shut you down.
Yeah.
Oh, Hazo, of course. Kooky and
It is,
Hazo
in fact,
are the
Hazo,
other two
Kooky,
bosses.
and Yellow.
Yeah, how can I forget Hazo? I mean, I leveled up Hazo so long ago that I just don't remember. Maybe that's the problem.
Hazo never shows up in ranked.
Yeah, Hazo is one of my few triple crowned characters, but I do not think I've ever drafted him in ranked, unfortunately.
There's not a reason to, right?
No, not really. It's
way
very
that, like,
rare that that's your VV option, and he's definitely not going to be your DPS option. Let's be honest here.
Someone out there banning Kazuha, Sucrose, Shalonin all together.
Yeah, and then Jean, Shan Yun, because having the healing is honestly more important than having damage. So you need like, yeah, if the draft somehow ended up with 5 different VV bans, then maybe you take Hazo. But even Farazan is better than Hazo. Let's be honest here when it comes to DPS.
It's ranged VV.
Exactly, yeah. It's unfortunately cooked
the
for
Brazilians
Hazo.
swear that Hazo C2 is very relevant for grouping.
I don't even remember what C2 does, I'm going to be honest.
It makes the burst do a group. Oh.
Burst? Okay, gotcha, yeah. I mean, that's not super relevant for ranked here, so what the...
Of course not. Yeah.
But it looks like because of some inconsistencies in timings, both teams are going to actually retry Drake.
Oh boy.
Yeah, because I'm guessing we didn't get a clip for one of those teams, so we're going to go ahead and
force retry.
do a force retry, which means both teams get full energy, full
But
bursts.
Guess who has the green flag on? Guess who has the green flag on PM, or was it on Gold Flame though?
Oh no.
It's Pixel. Okay.
Pixel is up 4-2 against the number 1 seed.
No.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, Noblesse Oblige has to win this Drake retry. And they did have the advantage just from the times originally. But they're gonna have to play well.
Yeah, the advantage of 0.2 seconds.
I mean, a 0.2 seconds is 0.2 seconds, alright?
Yeah, I mean, a lot can happen in 0.2 seconds, okay?
Yeah.
Like, for example, did you know that if your heart, what is it? If like the electrical conduct from the top of your heart takes 0.2 seconds to travel down to the rest of your heart, then you actually have a heart condition. It's supposed to be 0.12 seconds. So fun fact.
Oh.
Wow.
Cuddles.
Dr. Cuddles.
You're okay. You're okay.
Locking in.
Hey, what?
Take a deep breath. You're good. You're good, Ross.
But yeah, I think Noblesse Oblige can definitely win this as long as the Hutao team doesn't one cycle. But it comes down to whether or not. I don't think,
I
from
think
what we've seen, I don't think they
here's
can
my
one
hot
cycle.
take, right? I think now that Kiki's had some practice time. Oh wait, I think somebody was able to pull up a clip.
Okay, we might not need to retry. Might be able to VAR. Let's see.
Or I mean, again, we have refs. Refs are actively making the call here, so I'm curious to see what they're gonna come up with.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. The ref showing off C6
Well,
TIG.
are they going through? Are they going through the force? Let's see. Actually,
We'll see. Okay, that's the most nothing answer I've ever heard. Alright. Wow, like, coming down to the wire here, it's not even retries yet, and we're...
yeah, it's not even retries, and we already have 2 VAR.
Speaking of retries, though, if Noblesse Oblige does end up winning Drake, what do you think is the retry for each team? What do you think they're gonna try to redo?
Oh man, I think what is it? I think Pixel are gonna retry Asmon. I think Noblesse are gonna probably retry maybe Serpent. Actually,
I'm thinking Gold Flame, honestly. I mean, it was a VAR for Gold Flame, so...
But yeah, and it was a VAR just because there wasn't that crit.
Oh, they did edge.
last
Yeah,
night.
they edged the boss at the end. So if they can finish the boss off, hit all the crits, then they should be able to win Gold Flame.
Did we see them retry Animal Cube?
Yeah, they did get they did mess up the timings a
because
bit.
they got the messed up on the rotation. If they get a perfect Animal Cube at one cycle, then we enter the land of a third VAR.
Yeah. I mean, there's a chance they actually go for Animal Cube. Animal Cube might be smarter here, just because Gold Flame has a pretty high chance of just killing Mulan.
Yeah.
So Animal Cube could be a safer option, but I'm not sure exactly how.
Earlier, right?
Yeah, it was pretty close, but they were able to survive, so we'll see. But yeah, Animal Cube could be safer if they can get their timing correctly. But again, Team 2's time on Animal Cube was very strong. So I think it's an easier option, but it's riskier. You have to time everything perfectly. Outside of that, I think everything is pretty handedly to one team or another.
Yeah, I mean, like especially PMA. That PMA was a Pixel win. Ruined Serpent definitely a Pixel win. I think.
Suwani was 100% Noblesse. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe like again, Asmon's was like the only exception to that, but I think Pixel Dismissal did just a really fantastic job knowing what they were going to win, and ultimately they wanted to pull through with the 4-3, then they get that 4-3. So. Pretty interesting to see what comes up.
Yeah, but it looks like
stressful.
Yeah, Pixel won all their boss picks. They picked Gold Flame, they picked Serpent, and they picked Cube, and they won all of those. So
a sign of a team that knows what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean maybe that's why they were able to time Animal Cube better, is because they just practiced it and then picked it. So interesting to see. Yeah, Noblesse Oblige losing on their PMA pick. That's a pretty neutral pick, though. That's just a DPS check, so really comes down to who plays better.
Yep. I'm so this is like so funny to me too, because again, like this is actually a refs making the decision moment where they're all like gathered in a little sideline box, you know, and they're all like they all got the headsets on and off, and they're like looking at the clip, you know, they're staring down at the screen. They're like, man,
Feels so
what do we
official.
do? But no, I mean, like it is, you know, it's for $1,000, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
whatever happens better makes sense. So
Just-
I really appreciate the attention to detail that these guys are giving us.
I vote
Yeah.
just like in
Huge
real
shout out.
sports. Just like in real sports, we have to yell at the refs afterwards.
Hey, don't yell at me. Come
We
on.
chant at the refs. Bad call. That was terrible. What are you doing?
Boo! Boo!
Wafer was commenting actually that the 2 missed crits were on 99.7 crit rate.
Oh, that's tough. I mean, hey, that's why I ran 104% crit rate on my Milani. I don't miss crits, okay? I don't miss crits.
I mean, here's the thing, right? You're running a character that's so dependent on having a crit that you cannot afford to have that happen.
Yeah. It's like Child. If you're not running 100%, you might as well be running 0. That's
That
just the problem of
0.3%.
it. Yeah. Yeah, this isn't Abyss. You can't just retry, go again.
Yeah, guys, just like what is it? Imagine people running Yola just they could like perma reset.
Yeah, maybe if we allowed more retries. I know my team last season was trying to cook something with Eula. I think Geocube is usable because Eula can like insta kill the pillars.
Oh, really?
But yeah, it was Eula is just unfortunately not quite good enough for ranks. Just the DPS threshold, she just can't quite reach.
Does she have any restrictions at all?
She has, I believe it's 0 restrictions, and then she's just banned at C6, as it is right now. Yeah. I think there's talk of opening up that C6 to allow it, but if she starts one-shotting all the bosses, you know, it's definitely something we're worried about. So we want to be careful what we allow there. But could be an interesting niche pick, the C6 Eula. I don't think I've ever seen Eula drafted, so... Well, that's not true. I think I've seen Eula drafted once, and then she wasn't played at all.
The for fun pick.
Exactly. The classic Dory pick, when you have no idea what to pick, and you just need another character in your team.
Oh, Obsidian crit rate runs out if your skill lasts for too long. So maybe it was like one of those 60 builds that ended up getting
Oh,
ramped
that's
up to 40.
true. Yeah, because the passive triggers on skill initiation, so if you're using that Phlogiston, it might just run out.
Oh, the extended Phlogiston because of...
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So maybe that last
there
one
you
was
go.
60% crit rate, which is why it didn't
Yeah,
hit.
sure. That probably makes a lot more
Ah.
sense then, because I'm like,
Sounds
There's
like
no
you should
way.
be running 140 crit rate. Is what
Exactly, yeah.
I'm...
That'll be worth it.
Just shovel that 80 CV into the trash.
because I remember like I'd look all the time at these it seemed like really random builds where it's like why is that Noblette on like 30 over 300, you know? And then somebody will have to explain to me like, actually it's because when Marshall say activates he's like 70, okay? So it's a real build.
I have
like-
actually I have a conspiracy theory. For MiHoYo, since we're just yapping right now. I have a conspiracy theory that MiHoYo is producing these artifact sets that give a bunch of crit rates because they want to devalue battle pass weapons.
Ooh.
Because all the battle pass
Interesting.
weapons have
Yeah,
crit
because
rates
Serpent
of stats.
Spine. Yeah, Serpent Spine is like probably the most broken 4-star in the game. It's
Correct.
better or as good as like a lot of 5-star options. There's very few options that actually beat Serpent Spine.
There's a for Nuvalet as well. The new, well, I say new, but it's like 2 years old now. But the new battle pass
Yeah,
catalyst
Sack Jade.
R5 is equivalent to Tome on Nuvalet, except you have to not roll any crit rate, and all of your subsets have to go into crit damage.
Yeah.
So that's my conspiracy theory.
I mean, it's funny. The reason that Sack Jade is just like not usable in Mulanni at all is because she has crit rate ascension, whereas Nulat has crit damage ascension. So she just
Yep.
can't run crit rate weapons. So
She caps her crit rate with just the artifact set and her
passive,
Ascension.
essentially, yeah.
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 Anyway, I'll put that in your polls or your whatever that Mihoyo asked for, and then hopefully we can make Battle Pass weapons great again.
Yeah,
Also,
maybe that's why
was
they're
it-
maybe that's why they're coming out with these 11% crit rate weapons like Kenichi's Fang.
True.
Joe, man, Foster wanted to remind you that Crit Sith exists.
What is crit Sith?
Oh, it's just basic wood. It's just wood Sith, but the idea is people just use it as a stat stick for crit damage.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, because Sack Jade doesn't give you anything in co-op mode, Winsith is just better than Sack Jade on Nouvellette in
fair
co-op.
point.
So
I had not
I
considered
have seen
this.
a few Nouvellette C1 or C0 players just running Winsith because normally they run Sack Jade or something. But I am an avid Winsith hater. I don't like resetting a million times just to get the right RNG. But I'm also lucky because I have some other options I can use.
Does Widsith trigger in co-op?
Oh, that is an interesting thing.
It really doesn't, because what is it? It kind of loads like once.
Yeah,
Only
so
right when switch to the
you
character, and then
can
never again.
do some niche strategies that I've never seen any team actually use. But it's theoretically viable, which is whenever you switch your characters in co-op mode, it does give you that Widsith stack. So theoretically, before you start a boss, you switch your character to the right character and then immediately start the boss, and you will get the Widsith buff for the first fight.
Ooh.
And you
You
can
get
just
10
switch
seconds.
characters. Yeah, you can just continually switch characters until you get the right buff. So theoretically, with enough team communication, Widsith works. And it is pretty high DPS, but
That is, if you get the right buff, it's impressively strong.
Go.
yeah. I believe it's also... I think
Yeah,
it's
buff,
probably
go.
best weapon on C1 Mulan, just for that first hit, because I think it's long enough to get that first hit. So if you have Sucrose, Linny, Mulan, and then Mulan's on Widsith, you could hit like a 600k C1 hit right at the beginning. And then your damage falls off a cliff because you ran out of VV and you ran out of Widsith buff.
Team is writing the team who's playing. Who got Mulan again? Was that Noblesse?
Yeah, Noblesse
Noblesse.
Oblige got.
She's taking notes
Oh.
right now.
There's no way this is the times are in.
Oh no.
Joe, you're not gonna.
Oh no.
This is incredible.
No.
You can,
There
pull,
you
you can pull the scoreboard, man. Let's see it.
Oh,
that is a legendary pull right there.
0.1 seconds.
Let's go. This
Oh,
is crazy.
Man.
2 bars, and it was worth the wait because now Pixel Dismissal will be advancing to the semifinals.
Beating
They're
out.
going to be facing off against a winner of Dyslexic and Very Scuffed Gamers, but this is real. Times are in. We looked at every frame, we scrutinized it, and from what we can find, Pixel will advance.
Wow.
So this is like the
How many-
second. Someone brought this up. This is like the second, or maybe even third, season 1 team or season 1 veteran team that has fallen in this competition.
Jeez, the number 1 seed taken out. That is so
Yeah.
impressive. I mean, Pixel played well. They drafted insanely well. They played insanely well.
Yeah.
GG's, honestly.
Yeah, they again, like if you pull a good draft like that, like you here's the thing, right? I think what made Pixel win is that they play to their strengths, right? You have you know
Absolutely.
what your good if you know what your good teams are, just fight and contest the other team on your good teams. Leave your options open. You know, they didn't want to see the Wanderer, they didn't want to see the Rise League, right? They went with these really off-meta bans to open up their own choices. Because they basically shut down any, typical support trading, because if they knew they didn't have a diverse enough roster to win off a support trade. So they just said, hey, we're going to fight this on our own terms. Give us our Farina, give us our Hydro Core, let us play Vape. You can do your Pride team, you can do your Bennett, but we know what we are doing. And I think it really showed. Eliza on that Hu Tao, right? And then you also have Drago mastering the Farina ups and downs. And then you have Kiki with that good, solid Novelette. I think
Yeah.
Pixel are a very serious threat to be working at.
Yeah, I think
once
this
we get
is
into the semifinals.
this might be a classic case of underestimating C1 Farina. Pixel not having the C2 Farina, which is typically the strongest option there. Drago's the only one with C1. I think maybe Noblesse Oblige, they took the Bennett and then thought to themselves, oh, don't worry, they only have C1 Farina. But it worked out for them. That C1 Farina won them the game.
Yeah, but I mean, like, to be fair, like, here's the thing, right? Because this came down to 2 VARs. Like, we spent, I think, a half hour deciding, like, okay, what frame, like, we had to go back, pull video footage from teams. Like, we extensively reviewed this footage. And again, we just kind of came to the conclusion, like, hey, for what it's worth, Bennett Linny Ganyu is basically even to Hutao Novelette Farina.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you could argue that, right? And
It just comes down to
happens
gameplay, yeah.
It came down to the gameplay, it came down to the crits. And I guess, you know, Hutao stayed in the fight just enough, right? And then Milani just missing that crit on Gold Flame kind of just cost him everything. So I think, here's the thing, right? Because if Noblesse Oblige, if they happened to secure that Gold Flame win, they could have gone to overtime. They could have fought it again on Drake. They could have fought it again even on, was it Rune Serpent if they wanted to, right? They had options right there. But again, it just came down to I didn't crit on Milani because I ran too low crit rate. And that's the crazy thing about Genshin Impact.
Yeah, just unlucky. It's unfortunate, but a couple mistakes like they had for Anima Cube, a couple small things here and there, missing crits, and that cost you the game. That's just how it turns out. It's unfortunate, but Pixel played well, and they take home the win.
Yeah, I mean, good game, well played by both teams. Yeah, it comes
GGs,
down to just the
GGs.
tiny things that are going to make you advance in this tournament. And
Cool.
remember, our next match also, again, is going to be 8 p.m. Eastern. We will get to see Dyslexic, the number 4 seed, face off against, this is actually Joe Man's team, Very Scuffed Gamers, number 12. So it could be another underdog matchup. I think it could go either way. The thing is, Dyslexic, they are also a very impressive draft and gameplay team. So I think this is going to be a very interesting, very exciting match to look out for.
Yeah,
Let's
I
go,
am.
Very Scuffed Gamers.
I'm a bit nervous, but I think I should be able to draft pretty well, and I think our team should at least put up a good fight for
Sorry,
DXC.
it's 8 p.m. Let me rephrase it. It's 8 p.m. Pacific. Sorry, because I'm Pacific. It showed up as 8 p.m. for me on the roster. But it's going to be 11 p.m. Eastern as well.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are interested in checking out, it's going to be a big match this Saturday as well.
Same time as today. Yep. So should be a lot of fun. I'm definitely super excited for it. Seeing if we can have another upset. We'll see. Left side is the upset side. Right side is the strong team wins. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, this could be I don't know who the finals is going to be. I don't know who the third place is going to be. But
Yeah, this really tosses a wrench. I think most people assumed the higher seed would win here, but no.
yeah,
All right, well, I think we'll head out here. Thanks for watching, everybody.
yeah, thanks for being here, Kurt. Also,
No problem, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
yeah,
Great
always a
match to be
pleasure.
here for.
yeah.
Love to see you guys tomorrow.
See you guys.